in space. Actually, you don't have to. You can see it for yourself. That was Starfish Prime, the highest altitude nuclear test in history. In 1962, the U.S. government launched a 1.4 megaton bomb from Johnston Island and detonated it 400 kilometers above the Pacific, about as high as where the International Space Station orbits today. The detonation generated a giant fireball and created a burst of energy called an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, that expanded for over 1,000 kilometers. EMPs can cause a power surge, damaging electronic equipment in the process, and this one was no different. Across Hawaii, streetlights went dark, telephones went down, and navigation and radar systems went out. Not to mention the 6 or so satellites that failed. And all this came from Operation Fishbowl had 3 main objectives: to look at the EMP pulse and its effect related to altitude, the auroras that would instantly appear many thousands of kilometers away on the opposite hemisphere, and the radio blackouts. Again, Johnston Island was used as the base for the launches, and after a couple of launch failures, Starfish Prime was the first successful test with a 1.4 megaton explosion at 400 kilometers. The electromagnetic pulse created was much larger than expected and sent most of the instruments off the scale, which greatly limited the data they collected. It also blew out 300 streetlights, set off burglar alarms, and damaged a telephone microwave link in Hawaii 2,000 kilometers away. After the explosion, bright auroras were seen at the ends of the magnetic field lines around Samoa in the South Pacific and northern Hawaii in the northern Pacific, an area covering a large portion of the Pacific over 5,000 kilometers apart. This confirmed that beta particles were traveling back and forth along the magnetic field lines and creating the auroras where they came down to meet the atmosphere. The radiation belt of trapped charged particles created by Starfish Prime persisted for many months and was directly responsible for the failure of 9 satellites as they passed through it over the following days and weeks, including Telstar 1, the world's first commercial telecommunications satellite. Due to the unexpectedly large scale of the effects caused by Starfish Prime, the next test, Eureka, which was to be a...
Alright, I want you to look at the location of these silos and notice how close they are to the location known as Yellowstone Park, especially the 4 to the far left. And even the 3 at the very bottom, you know, they are awfully close to that park.
Heartland of each country. And while both sides have them in silos, only Russia deploys mobile launchers. These weapons are designed to kill and destroy on an unthinkable level.
If you make the rocket very large, you can make the nuclear warheads very small. You don't have to limit yourself to just one warhead per missile.
Some missiles have as many as 10 warheads, each one 50 times as powerful as the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima in 1945.
In the first strike, you're going to have something in the order of 600 to 700 ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads from both countries flying against each other.
A nuclear war in the modern age is going to be pretty fast. A lot of it is going to be motivated by the fact that a lot of our weapons are targeting a lot of their weapons and vice versa. So whoever strikes first gets to use their weapon. If you leave the weapon in the silo and they are allowed to hit it, then you've lost it. They call this use it or lose it.
Alright, we want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught me his truth. Alright, this is one, I guess I'm gonna call this what's this about the Project Fishbowl, whatever. And I believe, they discovered the stuff about the MMPs by mistake. I don't believe that was their goal at all. All right, but as you can see, um, whether it was their goal or not, they found a way to use it. All right, this is Job 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 4. All right, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right, so they would never be able to get above the firmament. That first layer of outer space is as far as they can go, and then they bounds they cannot pass. Their kingdom can only exist for a certain amount of time, and then Yahweh is going to bring it to the end. Turn from him that he may rest, till he should encompass as a hiring in his days. All right. So pretty much, this kingdom is going to end when the Lord sees fit to bring it forth. And we know them nukes are going to play a big part in the ending of Babylon the Great. All right. Revelation says the other nations will burn Babylon the Great with fire. All right. Now this is Isaiah, all right, 54, and I'm gonna start at verse 16. All right. Behold, I have created the smith that blows the coals in the fire, and that brings forth an instrument for his works. And I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and the righteous is of me, said the Lord. So pretty much this is the Lord saying he gave the Edomites this power to create these nukes. And he said no weapon that is formed against the people that serve the Lord is going to prosper. All right. So the victory has always been written for our people, even from the beginning. All right. And we know that Islam and we know that Islam we know that they have established many ways of doing things. And we know that Islam and Christianity, they um got these things, but they don't understand the scriptures fully. All right, that is talking about a destruction that is going to be started with these ICMB missiles being the case, and a lot of people don't even know that. Contrary to what popular belief is, America got the majority of their nukes on planes and subs too. All right, we got a lot of nukes in the silos, but most of American nukes are on planes and subs, and a lot of people don't even know that. But as you can see, they showed that if another nation, if they was to attack and end up in a nuclear war with America, the first thing Russia would do would explode nukes up into the sky to try to make disrupt as many electronics as possible. And then they next goal might be to take out the capital, but one of their main goals is going to be to blow up all America's nukes while they are still in the silos, ICBMB nukes while they're in the silos. And as you can see, our silos are located awfully close to that what they call a super volcano, who has the possibility that they might have a so-called hyper eruption. I mean, they right next to it. I mean, and they even know that this is the area that if another nation was to attack Babylon the Great, they were aimed for. So it makes it apparently more clear why you'll see this lake of fire. We got a possible triple threat, brewing. All right, you got your nukes, you got the disturbing these volcano eruption, and you got the chariots of the Lord. And I believe the Bible is subscribing all three to a T. All right, but these nukes is what's going to set everything off. All right, this is Job 20, and I'm going to start at verse 20. All right, surely he should not feel crowdedness in his belly. He should not save of that which he desires. There should none of his meat be left. Therefore should no man look for his good. So this is letting you know that everything is going to be completely destroyed in Babylon the Great. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in stripes. So when he think everything is going to be going his way, it's all going to fall apart. Every hand of the wicked should come upon him. That's all the nations should come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh should cast the fury of his wrath upon him and should rain it upon him while he is eating. So these missiles are going to come down when they think in their new world order is about finished. All right, he's going to rain it upon them while they are eating. All right, he should flee from the iron weapon, and we know that is going into the ICBM, the nukes, and the bow of steel should strike him through. It is drawn, it comes out of the body, yet the glittering sword comes out of his gallows. Terrors are upon him, and that is the missiles being launched in the air. You know, it's going to be terrors. People going to see these missiles going up when it happens. Our darkness should be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown should consume him. It should go ill with him that is left in his tabernacles. The heavens should reveal his iniquity, and the earth should rise up against him. That's going into every nation coming up against him. All right. The increase of his house should depart, his goods should flow away in the day of his wrath. So that means they're going to lose everything. And what the Lord is saying in, this is the portion of a wicked man from Yahweh, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh. So this is what Esau Edom is going to earn for all the wickedness they have did on the earth. All right. Because there's no way to do as much wrong as they do and come out on top. All right. Now, let's see. Okay, yeah. Let me get Sirach 10. All right. 10, 12. All right. The beginning of pride is when one departs from Yahweh, and his heart is turned away from his maker. And we know the Edomites have departed from their maker and turned their hearts away from the Lord. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that housed it shall pour out abominations. Therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. So the Lord is going to bring all kind of plagues and things on Babylon the Great because of their pride, because of their sin, all right, and because of everything that this country pretends to promote that is completely wicked, from alphabetic gender to feminism. All this is completely wicked to the Lord. The Lord has cast down the thrones of the proud prince and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord has plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. So this is Israel overthrowing all these nations that are so proud and think they are it. The Lord overthrows countries of the heathen and destroys them to the foundations of the earth. And it says destroys them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away and destroyed them and had made their memorials to cease from the earth. Right? Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born a woman. All right, so this is letting you know that this wasn't supposed to be this way, but this is how the Lord is going to deal with them. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him in an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed, and they that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. All right. So this is lets you know that the good is the people who follow the Lord's laws and doesn't break what the Lord told us to do. All right. Now I'm gonna get Matthew 24, 21. All right. For then shall I break tribulation, such as not since the beginning of the world to this time there shall be. And except these days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. but for the elect's sake, these days should be shortened. All right, so the Lord saying, He's going to come back and stand up for His elect. And if any man should say unto you, Lord, here is a Mashiach, or there is, believe it not. For there should arise false Mashiachs and false prophets. So this is letting you know there are going to be many antichrists and many false prophets. It's only going to be a handful of people who's teaching the true doctrine of the Lord. All right, and the Spirit is going to have to discern it. And if the Spirit ain't dealing with you, you will never find it. And you should show great signs and wonder, in so much that if it was possible, they should deceive the very elect. And when I see that if it was possible, they should deceive the very elect, I believe it's going into people in this truth, people who believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh being deceived. But the 144,000 would not be deceived. All right. Behold, I have told you before, where if they say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as lightning comes out of the east and shines even over the west, so should this coming of the Son of Man be. All right, so that's pretty much saying everyone is going to be able to see the coming of the Son of Man. It's not going to be a surprise. All right, now get Zechariah, the 9th chapter, I believe it's the 9th verse. All right. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, the King come unto thee. He is just in having salvation, lowly riding upon an ass and upon a coat of fowl of an ass. And Yahushua, rode upon the ass to fulfill this prophecies back in the ancient world. But he's gonna come back riding upon his chariots again, which the word refers to as UFOs. All right. And I will cut off the chariots from Ephraim and the horses from Jerusalem, and the battle bows should be cut off, and he should speak peace unto the heathen, and his dominion should be from sea even to sea, even the river, even to the ends of the earth. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein there is no water. All right, and we know water is a symbol for understanding, knowledge. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even to that day do I declare that I will render double unto thee. All right, he's going to render double unto the prisoners of hope. And I have bent Judah for me and filled the bow with Ephraim and raised up my sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made these as the sword of a mighty man. So he said he's going to raise up his sons, Zion and Ephraim, against Greece. And we know that's a metaphor for the Edomites. All right. And the Lord should send his over them, and his arrow should go forth as lightning. And the Lord Yahweh should blow the trumpet and should go with whirlwinds of the south. All right. All right. And the Lord of hosts should defend them, and they should devour and subdue with slain stones, and they should drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like the bowls as the corner of the altar. And the Lord, their power, should save them in the day as the flock of his people, for they should be as the stones of a crown lifted up as an ensign upon his hands. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn should make the young man cheerful, and new wine the maids. So this is the Lord saying, in the end, he is going to save his people. All right. And these weapons, it's a trip. The Lord has set it up for the Edomites to set up their own destruction by fighting each other. All right. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And then, after all the destruction come through, then that is when Israel is going to retake rulership of the earth. All right. So it'll be a beautiful thing. And as you can see, Project Fishbowl, they took out all their own satellites. I think that's when they discovered that possibility. And you can see this gives you an idea of some of their plans for when they attack, and that they have blown up multiple missiles in outer space, because there was a bunch of lunches before Fishbowl, and there was crowded fruit after Fishbowl. But for some reason, Fishbowl is the only one they talk about. But let y'all just look at the clips, and with it, shalom.
A 500-kiloton warhead attack on the White House would create a fireball with a diameter of 1 mile.
Inside the fireball, temperatures reach more than 10 million degrees, instantly killing everyone it touches.
It's like the center of the sun. Everything inside the fireball is incinerated. You are vaporized. You are instantly one with the universe.
The blast pressure outside the fireball is almost as deadly.
It throws things into you. It throws you into things. You can have bones break. And it could even rip the skin off your bones.
It's going to be letting out huge amounts of heat energy. Just the heat alone from this is going to be able to give people third-degree burns over a diameter of 5.5 miles.
Buildings and structures are not spared either. The Washington Monument, 555 feet tall, crumbles.
The marble and granite blocks of the Washington Monument
include the White House and the Pentagon.
While nuclear bombs are often exploded in the air, the White House and Pentagon are targeted for ground bursts, detonating on the surface to destroy underground war rooms and executive shelters.
if you want to do the most damage underground, you set off a ground burst. It makes a crater and destroys bunkers.
The Russian missile aimed at the White House is exactly on target.
A 500